Alive with Chronic Illness, a podcast dedicated to exploring what it's like to live with and not in spite of chronic illness. In today's episode, we are joined by Christina Lucille, owner of the Chronic Pop Shop. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Christina. Did you want to get us started by telling us a little bit about you and your health journey?
Yeah, so where to start? That's a good question. I was originally diagnosed with like my first chronic illness officially when I was 20, like 19, 20 with endometriosis. And then a couple months after my first endo surgery, I want to say, I got diagnosed with MS. But I've actually had MS since I was a child. So I actually have pediatric MS, and they did not diagnose me until I was 21. But when my MS specialist looked at my brain scans, she was like, "Oh my God, like you've had this since you were at least like 12, 13." And then even looking back at my medical records, like we went over, we were pretty sure we had it. I had it since I was like honestly probably a toddler, just based off of all my health records and stuff. So those are like the main ones. I've had like, dysautonomia, which is caused from my MS. And yeah, I mean, just, yeah, a bunch of other, yeah, just, I've been diagnosed with a lot. So, but those are like the two main ones that really bother me, probably. But
Yeah, it's
yeah, I mean,
difficult when you have like more than one, isn't it? Because you have to think when someone asks that
yeah.
question, which are the main ones? Because I've got like a list, but I'm just like, which are the most troublesome ones?
Right. Yeah. I think people are most interested always in the MS. And then, especially when I say like it's pediatric, they're like, what? Right. And then the endo, because honestly, out of all my chronic illnesses, if I had to get rid of one, even over MS, it would be endo because of how painful it is. And then I have a colostomy bag because of my endo, good stuff like that. Liver failure from my MS medication. I won't say which one though, because I don't like to freak people out.
All the fun stuff then.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then yeah, just like Hashimoto's. Oh yeah, that one sucks. But not a big deal.
Oh no,
Um,
it just really sucks, but it's fine.
yeah. Yeah, no, it's just whatever. I mean, like here's the thing. Hashi's is like the thing that sucks the most is gaining weight, like just randomly. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Sorry, I'm trying to
Trying
keep it
not to
family.
swear, trying to behave.
I know, I'm trying to behave my best. It's really hard sometimes.
No, but yeah, it is difficult, isn't it, when you've got multiple conditions? And then I think that seems to be the case. I don't know if I've ever met anyone who just has the one diagnosis.
Yeah, they like friends. I always tell people if you have one, no, you don't, because they all like to have besties. They all like to chat, and like, they're like, how can we screw up this person's life even more? They're like, ooh, let's do this to her today.
Yeah, just
So,
having one isn't enough. That's just not enough of a struggle.
yeah, exactly. No, they have to come in pairs at least.
So when you're not managing all of those, you are also a small business owner, which is another challenging thing in itself.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's I don't like to discourage people or anything, but it is a lot of work. It's very tiring. But I love it. I don't get me wrong. I love it. I love a good challenge. I thrive on it because I have ADHD. So, yeah, I think doing all the different things and putting on all the different hats really helps with keeping me engaged. And yeah, I think I just like to struggle a lot. So yeah, I'm used to it apparently.
Yeah. Yeah, used to it at this point. So you just do the hard things. So what were your first, when you decided that you were going to start a business, was there something that inspired you or something that made you want to go down the route of running your own business?
Yeah, so actually, after I had my one of my bigger relapses and I lost like half my vision at the time, I couldn't go to my master's program. Um, and I was just kind of like really, I don't know, depressed and overwhelmed. And there was just a lot of, I just had a lot of appointments to keep up with. And I am a to-do list girl. I don't like planners. If you close it with like my ADHD and like my MS brain fog, oh my God, frog, fog, I will forget it. I will just like, if it's closed, I'll leave it on my desk, never see it again. It doesn't work. But if I had something out for me, like just sitting on my desk and I can tear it off. It's always worked. But I was looking for something that had to do with like health. I'm like, okay, I need like a notepad to help me with like health stuff, like, checking that I called my doctor and insurance and whatever else that I needed to do. So yeah, I couldn't find one though. There's like nothing out there. So I decided to create my own. And I liked the idea so much that I'm like, what? I think I could sell these and like use these as, or I can have other people use these as like, to help them too. So I kind of just embarked on an adventure and I learned a graphic design program and I made my own font. I was already an artist to begin with anyways. Like I already started to do digital art. Before that, I was an acrylic artist and I sold and showed my artwork around my city. So I just kind of moved to digital art and then I created all my own things, for the elements for the notepad to go into. And then, yeah, it just kind of, that's what took over. And that's what inspired me to do it is basically being really overwhelmed by my health and yeah, just not knowing how to like handle everything. And then, the disability to-do list was born. And then I have like the mini one with just like, the checklist of like, did I call my doctor or like calling my doctor, like insurance, whatever. Right. And then, yeah, the disability to-do list I made specifically for me to basically use while I'm in a relapse or flare up. And it's one that can be used every day or, because a lot of us are in flare-ups every day, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of what inspired me to do it.
Yeah, and I like that. I like that it's just sort of open. So, like you said, you don't have to open a book to look at it. You can just sit right next to you and you can just see it straight away, and that it's really clear where everything is. I think that really helps just sort of narrow down. And even if you can't think of what you might need to do, sometimes that happens, and I'm like, what do I even need to do? It kind of gives you that reminder of like
Yeah.
what you might need to do. And yeah, that sounds really cool. So, what was it like going then from the transition between the art that you did before and then going and doing like graphic design?
Yeah, it was a big one. Because before I was like very abstract art, like just honestly screwing around with a paintbrush and just having fun with it. It was it was a challenge for sure. I had to learn the artwork itself, like the digital element, that wasn't hard. It was like the design program and then also just learning about legally what you can use and stuff, right? So yeah, I just kind of was like, what? I want to own everything legally. I want to like make sure I, can say this is all of mine and it's like copyrighted to me. So yeah, I just was like, I'm just gonna have to, do this. And it took me a year. It took me a full year to finish my my disability to-do list. And then I started to do the I call it my health stuff mini because it's like, it's like a little mini notepad and it's just health stuff. Um, so yeah, and then I did that one. That was my first one I think I printed because I was too scared to do the big one because I was like, oh my God, that's a lot of money. And then yeah, I think learning like the printing process too for like paper goods versus just like a digital print was hard. And then I'm like, there's like weights, there's like paper weights. I had no idea. There's like different weights for paper and like quality. And I'm like, what is this, The Office? I don't know anything about paper. Um, so that was a big, yeah, I mean, just like the ins and outs of having like a business, a stationary business was a lot to learn. And yeah, it was a lot of just teaching myself, YouTube videos. I mean, basically, yeah, everything's like self-taught, which is great. I had nothing else to do anyways. So yeah, I think the hardest part was probably the research and learning how to do everything. And I'm still learning. So,
Yeah, but you're doing really well. And I think what I love most is like you said, you illustrate them all yourself and you can make them then exactly how you picture it. And I think that
yeah.
really it does show and that originality really does show in all of the work that you do.
Yeah, yeah, and it was a lot of fun to do. Honestly, I think my partner actually would be like, "No, it wasn't," because she would hear me like just cussing from the other room like, "What?" is this? I would be like, what? It was a lot. I do really like it. It was yeah, honestly, I can't believe it took me like a year. Actually it's about to be like a year since I opened the shop. So it was like 2 years in the making to do everything, the research, learning how to do everything and then like putting it all together and designing. But yeah, I do like that I have control over everything and that I can, make stuff how I want it to be. And like even now I honestly am probably gonna be redoing my lists to make it even better because I also just made newer font like a couple months ago. So I'm like, I kind of like this for my list better. So yeah, I mean it is a lot of fun.
No, it sounds it. I can imagine it is stressful though, and like you said, your partner might not have the same view on it that you do.
Yeah, and yeah. No, she's super supportive. Like I think I'm really I don't know. I don't know if this is controversial or not, but I mean I don't know. I'm a pretty controversial person. Like I'm sure you've seen my Instagram.
Yes.
But I think that a lot of people who have businesses are born sometimes with a business mindset or like, you know what I mean? Like they have, right? And I've done like, with my artwork, I've done like a business before, but it's really just not like this on this like level, but I've definitely done stuff like that. I did other stuff too along the way, and like social media marketing. And yeah, I think the most stressful part actually is the social media. So to all the business owners who want to aspire to be a business owner, you do have to have social media. Like there's no way around it. Um, Luckily for me, I was already really good at Instagram. TikTok I was learning. TikTok is still strange. And unless you got on TikTok between the years of 2020 to 2022, um, like it's a lot harder to, get stuff on there and out there. And also the algorithms for social media are constantly changing. I mean, oh my God, Instagram just redid the algorithm again at the end of May, and it completely screwed up like everything for me. Not everything, but just a lot of things. But what I ended up doing was I opened my shop technically last July. But I knew that like I still call it like my soft launch because I knew that I'm like, okay, I have to like really market the crap out of this. And thankfully with a psychology background, I think that also helped me a lot into knowing marketing stuff. My sister's also a marketer. And I think just like, I don't know, like, yeah, sorry, I forgot where I was going with that. But
No,
it definitely helped me a lot. Yeah. And then, yeah, I decided that I would just start with social media and I would not push my products until I had a base. And luckily for me, the social media kind of popped off the most. And I think it's because I design everything, but that was also super hard because I posted every day for 6 months.
oh wow. Yeah, that must have been
Yeah.
really difficult. Did you design it then in batches or?
No. Oh my God, no, I am terrible. No, I was doing it like the night before.
Oh
Like
wow.
literally. Yeah, and yeah, my friend, so Charlotte, also like chronically Char on Instagram, it's funny, we were just talking a couple months ago about this, but like she like does it in batches. And I'm like, how do you do that? Like, how? But I think it's, I'm kind of like she can sit, I think we were talking like she can sit down and like kind of bust them out a lot of the times. And then I don't know if it's like what it is with I can't sit down for like more than 2 hours to do it. I have to like get up, walk around, do other things. Cause yeah, it is a lot. I'm like, yeah. And I think like I do a lot of the illustrative stuff, right? So there's like some posts that take me way longer and some posts that take me way less. Unfortunately, the posts that take me way less are probably the most popular.
Okay.
Yeah, I know it's kind of depressing. It always is how it goes though with artists. Like your favorite stuff and your favorite pieces are usually always like the least favorite things, right? It's just kind of how it is. I think that social media was probably the most challenging because of, how much you had to post to get like noticed and recognized. I think with that though, it's like you have to kind of dive in to the community to really get to know it. And it's funny because I started out as like a way to market my shop, but actually I it actually became its own life, especially after January with everything that, happened in the US. And then I'm like, I'm a really political, controversial person. Not I don't think I'm controversial. I just think I'm bold enough to say what I want to say and say what needs to be said. And I really think after I started to do more of the political stuff, that's really what I love to do, actually. And so now it's kind of like flip-flopped a little bit, and I'm like, I just really love to post and yeah, just kind of like make political advocacy stuff. Yeah, sorry. I just kind of went on a ramble about
No,
that.
no, not at all. And I think that kind of shows the diversity of it and like the way that it evolved. Like initially you start off as a platform for your shop, and then you actually saw,
Right.
oh, I've got this audience, I've got this reach, and I can use it for something that's positive. I can use it to advocate something I believe in.
Yeah, and you know what? That's when I started to make the stickers, and then that's when everything kind of really started to have momentum and stuff, right? Was like the stickers, and I think it was after I posted the disabled and angry graphic. That's when everything really started for me, and everybody really liked it so much that I made it into a sticker, and then yeah, I really started to sell in like February. So like mind you, I've had the shop open since January, right? And I think I made some sales in November. Actually, Clark was my friend and she actually bought one of my notepads and that was really sweet of her. And then I was like, does it count if it's my friend? But it does. I was like, that's really supportive of you. And then I had like a few other people buy from me in like November, December, in the beginning of January and whatever. But yeah, it wasn't until I got the disabled and angry sticker that's like when everything kind of, came to. And then yeah, I just started doing more graphics and more fun. Yeah, just like more fun art. And I think it's actually because I found my art style. And it takes artists a while, right? And I think it took me a while to find like what I wanted to look like for my brand and what I want to achieve. And like that's the other thing. You have to really think about the overarching, like what's my brand going to be about? What's my brand's name? What's it about? What can I what's the message I want to send, right? And I think I just really came into my business and myself as a person, honestly, after the disabled and angry, and then I took it even further and did like a lot more controversial stuff. And I mean, it shouldn't be controversial, come on. Right? And then did like a lot more graphics and like the harsh, I don't know, I really like a harsh black line. I really like the outlines of stuff. I don't like the girly. I mean, it's fun. I do like the girly. It's hard because I'm like, oh, I like everything so much. So, when you're like, you have to really think about, okay, like what's like, right? And I want it to be bold and stuff. So, yeah. Sorry, probably should have wrote a list down. I'm like, there's so much to talk about, like having a business, like branding and yeah, and then like the themes and stuff of it. There's a lot.
You've already
But
covered like those are really key bits. And I think particularly that you were saying about social media, because when you've got a
right.
chronic illness, like the social media side of it must be really challenging energy wise, potentially. If you're having like a flare up or you're having a bad
Yeah.
day, how do you manage your social media on those days?
Yeah, I would say it is really hard. But yeah, don't be like me. That's what I always, don't be like me because I will push myself. The way that I got my relapse and I couldn't get my master's degree was because I pushed myself way too much in my undergrad. And then I got a really bad relapse. And that was definitely on me because I was like, I have to get into my like, master's program. So I have to do really well. And so so used to like pushing myself that I just kind of pushed myself through those first 6 months. And I mean, I posted when I had COVID and I posted like, yeah, I kind of would put my health on the back burner and I will still. And it's I think the thing is you're gonna do it no matter what you do when you have like a chronic illness and you're disabled and you have like you know, and you have a business, like it's gonna happen. I know it sounds like really like, "Ugh," but I know. And I think I just had to decide. I'm like, okay, well, what's my goal in life and like what do I really want to achieve? And I think I've learned that I would still do it that way. Maybe not with the college one. That one was I was insane. I was I drove myself insane. But I think that yeah, sometimes you just have to push yourself more and not, I don't know. I don't want to say that to everybody though, because it's not like a good idea, right? This is not like healthy, I would say, right? And actually, I've learned to slow down a little bit, but the problem with that sometimes is like when you slow down, you kind of get punished for it. So like I was like doing really well. I popped off on Instagram. Instagram started paying me for like my posts and stuff, so I turned that on, right? And then it turns out not the best idea, by the way, because I'm like, oh, they were gonna like cap me on views. And then like my followers became, less and like I know it sounds like bad because like I'm an artist first and stuff. But like basically when I slowed down, kind of just felt like a punishment a little bit because when I slowed down, like the Instagram stopped, going so well for me. And the problem with me is like if I'm not doing well on social media, I won't make a sale. So there is a immense amount of pressure for me to produce art and for me to like keep going. I honestly just recently started posting almost every day again because I'm like I like need to make a sale. It's the summertime. It's like the hardest. June is the hardest month to sell, June and July. Hardest month. I don't even know that because I wasn't even open last June. But I know that from the research, and research is important, right? So I'm like, I really got to get going on this. And yeah, and then Instagram, yeah, like I said, change the algorithm. And so then I'm like, well, I can't take a break anymore like I was. Like I was taking like longer breaks in between my posts to give myself more time. And I was definitely burned out. 100%, I'm like the queen of burnout, and it's on me, 100, like totally my fault. But yeah, I mean, it's hard because I'm like, well, even when my body is tired, I'm like, I have to keep going, right? So I actually have been better. I have been making stuff in bunches now.
Oh, good. That is what I like to hear actually,
I
because
know. Yeah. Oh,
you're so
sorry.
tough on yourself, and you were saying, "Oh, it's totally your fault," but it's not. It's because the system operates in such a way that you have to keep producing things in order for it to
Right.
keep your content being shown and to get that reach. Like that's not your fault. That's the system's fault. And it is frustrating
Right.
that it's like that because for you as an artist, you're going out there, you're making all of these, which is really cool, and doing this on like daily again now, and that takes so much time and so much energy and so much passion. But still, just to get it seen, it relies on an algorithm.
Yes. Yeah. And um yeah, yeah. So that part is definitely yeah, tough because yeah, like you said, the system, the way it's made and sorry, stuff. Oh my God.
It's fine. I'm
Uh,
just gonna have to learn how to beep things out.
yeah, I was just thinking that. I mean, no, I feel bad. I'm
No,
so,
don't. I've never had to beep anything before. It's gonna be an experience for me.
I'm so
It's
sorry.
fine. It's
I
on.
know. I feel like I've learned a lot, especially from my Instagram post. Like I'm 28 now, and I am the most confident I've ever been. And I think that even doing my business and my Instagram and stuff has really helped with that. And I'm very like authentic now. I'm very like too much myself, so much. And so now I'm like, just trying not to say it, right? But yeah, it's kind of hard for me to hone that in again because I'm like, I don't know. My personality is kind of like a golden retriever anyways. The ADHD does not help, especially having hyperactive ADHD. Sorry, I'm gonna take my pills.
That's fine.
I take it like a shot.
Best
Good
way.
thing this is,
Don't worry, we're not using the video. It's just the audio.
yeah, I was like, is this a video? I'm like, maybe I should have gotten a shot glass. And
That would have been iconic. That's what you should do next. A little shot
yeah,
glass. You can send med shot glasses. Oh, I love it. Do that, please.
Yeah, you know what? I've been looking for like new products to do, and I just have not. Um, Man, you know what? Let's talk. Here's something we can talk about. The money. The money. Sorry, I'm like, because that kind of goes along with the chronic illness and disability is like when you're disabled and chronically ill, how do I put money into a business, right? And like it's so difficult because it's hard. I feel guilty, right? Luckily I have like a lot of support. I have a partner. I kind of had my savings. I had like, say I don't spend a lot of money on me anyways. I buy makeup once a year. I buy clothes like once a year. I don't know, I just don't like things. So that helped a little bit, but man, it's just so expensive to like put your own money into your products. And you're like, well, I have to pay for like the doctors and I have to pay for, medical bills and prescriptions and then, things like heating pads and like extra things on the side, right? And so putting your own money into a business when you're disabled is really hard when you don't make money already. And over here, right, you guys have like PIP, right? And like I believe like you can have PIP while you work too. And here over here, right, we don't get that. Like it's like there's like no assistance when like if you can work, then you don't get any like help, right? Obviously you guys just had yours cut, which is things I won't say. Um right? But yeah, and then also if you're on Medicaid here, Medicare, whichever one you're on, probably Medicaid, for the younger. Um, you are not allowed to make over a certain amount in a month, and you're not allowed to have more than $2,000 in your bank account, which I think the pound is more right now. So it's probably like, I would guess like 2,300 pounds. I don't know.
Yeah, so not very
Yeah,
much.
yes, exactly. Yeah. So it's not a lot. And we're not allowed to, yeah. So I mean, it's really hard to, right, kind of put money aside and then put money into your products and everything like that, right? And I don't actually have any disability, and I did not want to be on disability because I am definitely the person that's like, I couldn't get on it, and I like applied 2 or 3 times, and I'm like, I have MS. Why is it so hard? Right?
Yeah.
And yeah, just like a bunch of stuff happened, and yeah, it was really hard. And then I'm like, you know what? I can't have more than $2,000 in my savings anyways, or just all together. And I'm like, I don't want to because I'm like, I want to open my business and like do this, right? So I kind of, did it off my savings and everything that I had. And I lost a lot of money at first because like when I got those first notepads, I made mistakes. And so I lost money on one of them, right? Which is how I got my oopsie packs. Because I'm like, well, I gotta get rid of these somehow, right?
Recycling.
And then right, yeah. And yeah, the cost of those, I think people would be surprised, but it has like oopsie as like two oopsie notepads, an oopsie sticker, and like a freebie sticker I got. And plus, on top of that, I think this is something that new business owners and people who want to own a business don't think about, but you also have to think about the cost of goods and right, the cost of goods plus everything that you're shipping stuff in, right? So like my postcards are 43 cents right now because I got them in like a smaller bundle and you want to get them in bigger, but I didn't want to spend the money to get the bigger because then I'm like, oh, what if I don't sell these? And you have to have the confidence. There is so much that goes into it, right? Um, right, yeah, and then you have to add in like the bags that you pack them in and like the washi tape that you can put on and everything else in between. And so those packs, I think I make about $3 off of probably.
Mm.
But it's better than nothing
Yeah.
because I mean, those notepads were going to be a loss, right? And anyways, I mean that is a big one is like yeah, just like the money that you put into it versus the money that comes out of it is a lot. Oh my God, there's like so much that goes into it. I just started doing like my income reports and stuff and like I think I had like 31 orders this month, 30 orders, which is the most I've ever had. and I made I think $71 from it because I had to subtract the fees like from Etsy and like everything else in between. So I believe like my like the gross profit was probably like $330 and out of that I made like 71,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, because you have to, yeah, I mean net profit it probably would have been like 200 and something, but then with everything else in between that you have to subtract out, right? So I mean, right now I think I've put I'm not as bad because I put my own money. It's not like I have a loan or anything, but I think I'm like negative 480 still. So I haven't made a profit yet. And yeah, it's funny. I think people think I'm doing a lot better than I am because of like I have an Instagram following. I've had like 150 sales now on Etsy, which is great. And I am really grateful, right? And I think I am doing really well for like a business that's only been open for um a year next week. So yeah, I do think though a lot because I've had a lot of people be like, hey, if you want me to like it's really sweet that people want to promote my product. It's really sweet of them, but I cannot give out product for free right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've had like a lot of people approach me and like, it's really nice of them, but I'm like, guys, I am not making money right now. I don't know how to tell you. 'Cause then I'm like, do I admit that? Like you kind of don't want to admit it, right? You want to kind of play like the confidence and whatever, right? Because psychologically, I think psychology, people want to buy from somebody kind of that's doing well or like not necessarily doing well, but you know what I mean, that has like it put together. You know what I mean? I don't know how to
Yeah.
explain it, but
No, you explained it well. Although you have just
yeah.
submitted it here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. It's fine. I don't have any secrets from the world, which is probably not a, well, I do. I do have secrets, but like I'm pretty open about everything. And honestly, I was really excited when you asked me to be on here because I'm like, I have been dying to talk about the business side of things because I think a lot of people just like kind of have made assumptions about means and like in a good way. Like a lot of people are just kind of assumed like I was doing really well with it and like, I was like making a lot more money than I and which honestly I'm like that's not a bad thing at all. And honestly, it was very nice, but I'm like actually I'm it's not. But yeah, I think a lot of people kind of have a lot of misconceptions of having a business, especially when you're disabled and chronically ill, right? Because there is like I'm paying a lot more than just like my money. I'm paying with my health,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. There's a line for you. There's like the line that you can put out there on Instagram, man. I'm telling you, that's a good one.
Yeah, that'll be the main quote.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't have a business, it'll steal your soul too. Uh, but and I try to like make everything as like cheap as possible. Oh my God, I just got my first order, like my first international order. Sorry, Canada, you guys don't count. They are international, but it's just above us. I'm in like Washington State, so it's really directly above me. Um, but yeah, I mean, I just got my first international order to Switzerland, and I was like, they paid like $24 for shipping, and I was like, oh my God, I felt so bad. And
Well,
that
that's how much
is
they believe in your products. That's how much they wanted them.
I know they bought like one $4 sticker.
Oh,
And I was like, oh my God, like it's so nice. It's so like, oh my God, like that is, but I'm like, $24. I'm like,
they really wanted that sticker.
I know. I was like, man, are you like a rich disabled person? And I'm like, I was like, that is so nice of them though. I'm like, that was like, whoa. But I did lose money on that order
Oh,
because of like the Etsy fees.
yeah.
Because Etsy will charge you for like the shipping costs too,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Yeah, and eventually I will move on to like my own website and stuff, but that's a whole different animal. And ugh. That's like I'm gonna have to build it all on my own and like learning that. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't really want to do that right now. So I'm starting out with Etsy, right? And then on one of my Canadian orders, actually, I lost money. too because they bought like the one sticker. And I'm like, yeah, and unfortunately on Etsy, you can't, other countries can do this. Like I know in the UK and in Australia that Etsy sellers can make their own prices for international. They can change them for, right? And that's great because I think, yeah, I mean, that's fantastic because I do think that being able to charge a little bit more to internet, just because it does cost a lot to ship internationally and like just the fees that Etsy has, but US sellers are not allowed to do that.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, and I think that's yeah, there's like a lot of information. I don't think that I don't think that there's a lot of information specifically for like chronically ill and disabled people for like business to like you know what I mean, like listen to and like really understand like there's so much that goes into it, right? Um I don't want to discourage anybody though either. Right? I don't want to be like, "Oh, it's all terrible and like it's a lot of work and the because I feel like I have been that way, but it's really not
No, I think
it's
you're just being real about it because some people will go into
yeah.
it thinking, it's maybe, I don't know, they might have misconceptions, but if you're actually open about the realities, like you said, like you're pushing yourself when you should be taking a break because you need to try and keep up with it in order to access a system that's just not accessible. And having that reality and being aware of it before you go into it means you can just go in making a more informed decision.
Right, yeah. And I definitely think that like, it took right, like I said, it took me 2 years to get to where it was to open the business because you do have to like do the research and really understand like where, like if this is worth it for you in your house. And I had to make the decision of can I do this with my MS
Mm.
and with the stress, even though I know MS is directly related to stress, right? Because stress will cause flare-ups like most other chronic illness, autoimmune issues, right? But the problem with MS is I'm like, I can wake up one day and my legs won't work, right? And not that that's like sorry, I didn't mean to compare that, but that's a pretty big trade-off because I have woken up and my eyes do not work together. And so I had to wear an eye patch, right? That's how I had half my vision. And like it's still permanently damaged. Like if I look all the way over here, it's like completely double,
Mm.
which is crazy. And then I risk the permanent damage being, happening to my body. Or like, God, endometriosis flare. Like, I could not work in severe pain
Yeah.
like that. And that's hard too. So like if I'm having an endo flare, if I'm not feeling well, if I'm too tired that day, I have to, yeah, you have to like really push through those things. Like I have to be like, I'm tired, but not just tired, I'm fatigued, right? But I have to push through fatigue. And like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
And when you do that, you risk a lot. Because I have definitely done that more than I would have liked to. And yeah, and then there's, the relationship between being productive and like being disabled and chronically ill. Like we can just exist to exist, right? But also like society pushes us like, oh, you have to like do something in order for you to matter,
Yeah.
right? And so then you feel like guilty, right? If you're like, oh, like I gotta do right. And so there's already this unhealthy mindset and bias, I think, that everybody has in our minds, even though we know like rest is productive and like I say those things sometimes and like, do I believe that though? I'm like an internal, I do know that, but do I really believe it? Because I've been so brainwashed to believe that like my productivity really does matter. And, I think that that's God, yeah, the sacrifices you have to make when you have a business is insane, especially with health. And the money, like I said, it's really hard because you have to really look at your finances and be like, can I financially do this? And not might put myself into a hole, but also have enough money for like if something happens medically to me, that'll be okay, right? Um, and yeah, I think I get asked a lot to make like more products. And I know people are just like really excited and they love my art and I love that. I think that is the biggest compliment ever, but I definitely think there's a lot of pressure there because I'm like, oh my God, like I have to like produce these things or right. And then I mean, I just spent $97 on stickers
Yeah.
like for fit right I just on 100 stickers that are coming in of my most popular because I decided I was like okay well for disability awareness month or pride month I should have like a new product out, right? That I should be pushing and stuff. And it's right. But then I was like, you know what? I financially can't do that. And I know that there's other small businesses out there that are disabled owned.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they've definitely been way more established longer than me, and they've had like a lot more time than I have. But they put out products and stuff for this month, and I'm like, I just couldn't do it because yeah, it's really hard to yeah, it's a really hard decision because I'm like, that would have been great for like marketing purposes and stuff. And sometimes I feel a little bit icky because I'm like, am I taking advantage of my audience though? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
like that's
yeah,
I think people who shop on your shop, they know that like you're chronically ill and that you're doing this and it's like it's your business and how like a lot of people, especially after listening to this, will know how hard it is and how much work you have
right,
to put in and that's what it is. It's a business at the end of the day so that you can like support yourself and it is tricky because I hate marketing, like even for the podcast. I'm like, when I'm making posts, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to annoy people. How many posts should I put out? What if people get sick of hearing about the podcast? But I love
right,
it and I love talking. And the good thing about having people on is actually I only feel that about myself. So I'm like, oh, I don't want people to get annoyed with me. But when I have people come on, I'm like, oh, this person is so amazing. I'm just so excited. I just want to share it with everyone. So that kind of
right.
thing I don't really get with that type of marketing. But yeah, it is a
Yeah.
tricky one, I think. I think a lot of people struggle with marketing and the way it feels, particularly when it's like your business, because it's sort of like you and you're sort of marketing yourself, almost like not like selling yourself,
Yes.
but like in a different way than I felt when I've done like an employed job. I don't really feel the same way in that one, but I think it is because maybe in society we are kind of most of us will work for a company and we'll essentially sell ourselves to that company to make that company money and make them profit. But then when you're doing
Right.
it for yourself and you might potentially have more of the profit, it's a different feeling because it's not what we've been taught to do and not what the majority of people do.
Right. Yeah, exactly. No, exactly like you said. Like it is like, yes, you like really have to have the confidence to put yourself out there and to be like, hey, this is like my stuff. It's great. Come and buy it, right? But also like, yeah, like you said with your podcast, like how much do you put out? How much are people annoyed? Um, And I do, yeah, I do know. I try to have a healthy balance because I'm like, it's funny. TikTok loves my packing videos. They love when I do the packing videos, and I get so many sales from off of TikTok. I don't do TikTok shop or anything. They come to my Etsy store. Um, but they love the packing videos, and so yeah, I do those a lot more on my TikTok. But on Instagram, I think people get annoyed sometimes. I'm like, ooh, are people annoyed because I'm like doing more videos instead of the art stuff? That's the other thing too, is like when you're an artist that is doing having I guess a business too, it's really hard because people follow me for the artwork and not always for my products. I would say probably 90% of the time. Maybe there's 10% of people that follow me for my products, maybe. And there's probably a good handful that follow me for both, right? I have a lot, but most of my sales always come from like, right, social media. But yeah, I think it is hard because I'm like, how much do I put out that I'm like doing the packing videos, right? And then I'm like, yeah, it is very tricky because I'm like, I don't want to annoy anybody, but I also and I don't want to like falsely advertise myself because I'm like, I am an artist and I do put out artwork, but I also am a business and this is how I'm making money, right? And yeah, the more money I can make, the more products I can put out for people, right? And I mean, there are so many ideas that I have coming out this year and I'm really excited about it. But nervous because I'm like, am I gonna lose money out on this? And like, I do take a lot of polls from my audience of like what they want to see, right? And so that helps. But yeah, it is kind of difficult to be like, here's my stuff, come in, and get it.
Yeah, and putting yourself out
Yeah.
there and being like, yes, a bit vulnerable with it as well, especially because it's all of your creation.
Yeah, and oh my God, I have sensitivity dysphoria from my ADHD, and oh my God, is that real? Because I'm like, here's my stuff, and like I made it, and it put so much like heart and soul and money into it, and I'm like, are people gonna buy it? No, like, and it's so like, right? And I'm like, it's hard. It's a tricky one because I'm like, man, yeah, and being vulnerable is not my strong suit. I've been in therapy for 5 years because I cannot be. 6 years. 6 years. Oh my God. I would say it's not depressing I'm in therapy. It's really sad that I've been in therapy for the same.
Just the same stuff like over and over.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. I just cried in front of my therapist for the third time in my life. And I love her. Hi, Maggie. She listens to podcasts.
You
Yeah.
might.
Oh, yeah, she definitely has. And like, it's just, I'm somebody that I have to have like absolute trust in my therapist before I even do anything. It's pretty terrible. But yeah, anyways, yeah, the vulnerability part is hard because you have to be like I said, you have to be confident in what you have. And if anything that I've learned, stick to your business plan. Like stick to what you're doing at like the first time around, right? And like don't change it because of anything else or anybody else. So when you do the fear factor versus the confidence factor, it really changes the business. And I know because I lose money when I'm working out of fear versus when I'm working out of confidence. That makes sense.
Yeah, actually, I love that. That really resonates. I think that's really powerful, actually, thinking about working from a place of confidence and creating what's authentic to you and what you believe in, not just trying to
Right.
create what you think you should or you feel pressured to or what you think will be successful based on somebody else's success, creating your own.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that I've learned that a lot by I think like even like the ribbon post that I do is probably like my most popular art post that I've done. And the most ribbon or the most stickers that I sell are like my ribbons. And it's funny because I will first put out the artwork before I make the stickers. But I think next time what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the stickers and then put out the artwork. Because oh my God, if I would have just done that, I would have made so much more money. Because when those posts were popping off, people would have come and bought right from my store instead of waiting like 2 weeks for me to make the sticker. And then hype is already dead. So, I mean, there's like a lot of, you kind of have to be, what's the word? You kind of have to be really, oh my God, what's the word? Like wise about it. You have to really think about those things and really strategize. Like, what is my product that does really well? Like, and then take the risks. Oh God. Risk taking is like, that's the hard part, right? Because that's the money that you're
Yeah.
like, well, I need this for like my medical care, right? Maybe if something happens, right? So that's a risk by using it on your business. And I think for us, it's so much more of a risk because we have a lot more stakes, right? We have a lot more higher stakes, but I really love making stuff for our community. I really believe in my lists and I'm going to be having more come out because I do really believe that it will help people, right? And like I said, like the closed book stuff does not work for me. Even apps. I don't like apps. I've tried that. I'll use it for like a week. I'm pretty sure the ADHD girlies get it too. Brain, whatever. You don't have to have ADHD to get it, but like, man, I will like use it for a week and then it's done. Like, bye, because you can close it, right? And even like the notifications are annoying to me. There's an alarm going, I'm gonna turn it off and then forget that it went off and then, do something else.
Yeah, and even if the notification's on the front of my phone, it's like it's been there so long, it doesn't even exist to me anymore. It might as well just be the
Yeah.
wallpaper. I just completely.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my, that is so me. Yes. I totally get it because I'm like, oh my God, this is like, and then it gets like overwhelming because I'm like, there's so many notifications. Now I feel pressured. I have to go do this. And then I have demand avoidance right? And so demand avoidance is like, I'm not going to go do that thing now because I'm gonna avoid, right? Because I feel pressured. Um, so yeah, it just like creates this whole, right? So like with the apps and like the closed books, right? There's nothing else. And so I really believe in my product because I know that it works well. And I used to-do lists all throughout college, and it was the only thing that worked. I did not use planner, just the straight up, it's on my desk, it'll work. And even for like brain fog, oh my, so if I have it out on my desk, right, and I'm having like a bad fatigue day, at least it'll be there for me to remember, right? Because
Yeah,
I
it's just
think,
right there.
man, yeah, yeah. And I don't know, I think like, yeah. there's a lot of people that were like, well, why don't you find an app developer and like do that? And like I said, like I stuck to my business plan and I'm like, no, I really think that there needs to be physical. Because some people, yeah, are good with apps and some people can do the planners, but there's nothing out there for people who like need it all the time, right?
Yeah.
Who's like sitting out. So yeah, I think like sticking to your plan of, what your idea is for your business and your why is always the most important. And like that's always what gets me, even when I'm fatigued, to like keep going, right? Because I love, yeah, like I said, I love what I do for the community. I love making artwork and connecting. Um, I love talking to everybody in the comments and like, let's like be mad together. Like, let's be, and yeah, I think it's so wonderful that like I've been able to do this for the community. And like, I got my first message the other day and she was like, I bet you get these all the time. And she was like, I just like want to thank you. This isn't tooting my ho own horn or anything. I just think it's just so sweet. And she was like, I just want to thank you for like the posts that you make and stuff. And like, I feel less alone about it and whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, that is so like, and I was like, again, I'm like, I think people think I do like a lot better than I do, right? And I'm like, I don't know, I don't want to say like, no, you're the first one because I'm like, does that sound like a loser? But
No, that's
she
so
was the
cute.
first one. Yeah, she was one of the, she's like the first one that's like said that. And I'm like, that is so sweet. Like that was like really touching to me and something I'll never forget.
Yeah.
Right. And like, I mean, yeah, the money part of the business is great. But I really like to help people,
Yeah.
right? And that's why I was going to psychology too, right? And so I knew I needed to do something that was like advocacy and helping others. And so I think that that helps too, is like, yeah, remember like the why of why you started when things get hard. And I think I'm the type of, I think I'm really lucky because I'm a disabled person who has a very loving, supportive family. Um, and a very loving, supporting partner. I have great friends. I have a roof over my head. I have, everything I could need. So, I think creating products and artwork to give back is like something I feel like I can do because I'm in a much better position than a lot of other people. And I'm really grateful for that. Yeah, so I just want to, put that out there too.
And I think, what you do is really powerful. I know you keep saying that you feel like maybe you're really controversial, but I'm gonna have to look at your Instagram again because I feel like it's mainly just stuff like disabled people should have equal rights. They should have access to medical care. That's not controversial. That's just like human rights. It shouldn't be controversial.
No, it should not. No, I always feel like it is because I think it's because it's not said enough. Like I think the disabled and angry stuff is like probably I would say like I've popped off. I don't know if, anyways. So I think I hope people don't think I'm always angry all the time. Yeah, it's not controversial. A lot of the stuff that I say, I feel like should not be.
Mm.
But I definitely think it's just stuff that we haven't really been able to say as like people with disabilities before, right? Oh my God, I've been watching the protests for PIP. And the UK really knows how to throw a protest because I'm like, man, they're freaking awesome. Like they're like laying down, like acting like this is what's gonna happen. We're gonna die, right? And I'm like, that's fantastic. I'm like, I freaking love a good protest. Um, yeah, I feel like, I think like the disabled community should become a lot more bolder and chronically ill, you know. I think that we should just be a lot more bolder, right? And say things that haven't been allowed to be said, like disabled and angry. Why can't we be angry?
Mm.
And it's not even angry about having the diagnosis, because I think that's what always people assume. It's about, like society's not made for us. And there's a lot more to be angry about than being diagnosed with an illness. Usually it's not the illness,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah, I think like yeah, there's just a lot of things that haven't been said yet. So I like to either be I do like to either be the first one that says it or not the first one. Sometimes I see people talking about it on like threads, like the Instagram threads, and I'm like, can I make this into artwork? Because I think that that's so powerful, right?
Yeah.
Um, right. And yeah, I think that that's actually kind of how the direction of my shop is kind of going, is more so into the disability advocacy. And of course, like making the products to help people kind of manage their illnesses and whatnot, but also like, you know, like why can't I like I have a lot of products that have cuss words on it.
Have you got any key takeaways that you would give to someone who's chronically ill and is thinking about starting a business?
I think the advice I would give is like the to research everything and like just make sure that you have a plan in place and that you know what you're risking and the cost of everything going in and coming out and really think about if you can do this with your health. Like, is your health going to be at stake, too much of stake, in order for you to do this business, or are you able to do both? Um, I think take risk if you're going to do it. I think you should just do it and take the risk to do it and be confident in what you're doing, right? And just really believe in what you have. And yeah, definitely think about everything though, like I said, and really make that plan because I think the more you plan and prepare and you really think about what you're doing, the more intentional you're going to be and the more successful you'll kind of be with the business and be able to market it and put it out there in the community. I would say connect with the community is a big part and really yeah, don't skip on social media and connecting with your audience because I think that's it's a very big part of it is right, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you're probably, if you're doing it directly for chronic illness and disability community, then right, then you should really hone in on that. I would say probably just really know who your audience is going to be. And it doesn't have to be obviously, it doesn't have to be targeted towards the disabled, chronically ill community. You can do any business you want. You can even like being a hairdresser, I don't know, selling different types of products. Um, I would just say really connect with whatever audience you have. And yeah, I mean, don't take it too far that you, right, get a flare up and you're not able to pay your medical bills. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that good advice?
Yes, that is definitely don't take it too far and don't ha give yourself a flare up is very important. Very, very important advice. And thank you so
Yeah.
much for coming on today. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, of course. I loved it. It was a lot of fun, a lot of, information out there. I hope it wasn't too much. Having a business is challenging, but I promise it is fun.
To learn more about Christina and the Chronic Pop Shop, check out the links in the description. And as always, thanks for listening.